Now, after 10 months of political deadlock, Spain finally has a prime minister. Leader of the Conservative People's Party, Mariano Rajoy, has been sworn in for his second term in charge after finally securing support from a minority part of the government. The Socialist Party agreed to abstain in Saturday's vote of confidence in order to break the deadlock, but Rajoy is still going to have a fight on his hands with a deeply divided Congress and a party embroiled in corruption scandals. For more on what's next for Spain, Jaime Velázquez joins us from Madrid. Jaime, thanks for talking us through this. Presumably a sigh of relief, not just from Spanish lawmakers, but from businesses as well.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Spain has done very well, actually, without a government, but so many things have been put on hold, like, for example, public investments for businesses, especially for foreign investors. The new government is giving finally some certainty, especially, for example, with the deficit target. Mariano Rajoy has already said that he's not going to compromise Spain's commitments with the European Union. So I think that is an important thing. But Mariano Rajoy has proved to be a political survivor. After so many corruption scandals, he managed to win the election, and finally he won this confidence vote. But the Spanish people may had enough. They want changes. They want the government to do something against corruption.
Luis Peñas was a councillor for the Conservative People's Party in Majadahonda, a town on the outskirts of Madrid. His recordings helped uncover the biggest corruption scandal in the last decade, the Gürtel case affecting Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy People's Party.
Están sentados en el banquillo de Gürtel.
All the treasurers of the People's Party are now sitting on the bench at the Gürtel's trial. The People's Party has won a dozen elections using illegal funding. They have cheated.
José Luis Peñas recorded his conversations with this man, Francisco Correa. He's said to be the head of a ring of businessmen who bribed People's Party officials to secure government contracts. The money was allegedly used to fund party operations and extra salaries for its leadership, including Mariano Rajoy.
Correa liked to put the phone on hands-free mode so we could listen. One day he was speaking with a councillor of Arganda. They were talking about some plots of land, and I could hear the councillor saying that if he didn't get his 300 million pesetas, the construction licenses would never be granted. I think I took the right and hardest decision. I stayed with him as close as I could, so I could gather as much evidence as I could.
But the path hasn't been easy for him. He's been tried on corruption charges and has been publicly targeted. Spanish people seem to have had enough of corrupt politicians during the biggest economic crisis in a decade.
The cost of corruption in Spain is valued at 90,000 million euros per year. That money would have prevented austerity measures that have affected so much social services like health or education.
In Parliament, Mariano Rajoy says he's determined to tackle corruption.
Today, our citizens can be sure that in Spain there is no impunity for corruption.
Spain is ranked 37th out of 168 countries in the Corruption Perception Index from Transparency International.
Spanish people still have a very relaxed vision of corruption. It is a matter of historical background, education and mentality. It is very important that political parties are able to secure a global agreement to stop these practices.
Mariano Rajoy's minority People's Party, along with his coalition partner Ciudadanos, is promising a more transparent administration and to suspend any politician involved in corruption. But will a party stained with so many corruption allegations be able to achieve this?
Well, Jaime is still with us in Madrid for more on this. Jaime, corruption, as you said, they're clearly a big problem, but Spain's wider issues as far as the economy is concerned are fairly well documented, not least of which is high unemployment. What do you envisage Mariano Rajoy is going to really prioritise now that he's actually been elected Prime Minister?
Of course, unemployment is, I think, is going to be the first task of Mariano Rajoy. We've been creating jobs in Spain as much as 500,000 in the last 8 months. So I think that this is important, but the Spanish people is also asking for better quality of jobs. Some of the jobs that have been created, they were just 1 day long. So I think that that is going to be important. The first challenge that Mariano Rajoy has is the government needs to pass the budget of 2017, and
right.
he needs to cut 5,000 million euros for that budget. So that is going to be a very important thing. And I think that the Spanish people, they want to see results also in corruption. They need to see that the government is finally doing something. Otherwise, why would they have a government?
Rajoy, as we know, as we said there, this is his second term as Prime Minister. Before that, he was a finance minister. How long do you think Spanish people are really going to give him before they expect to see results as far as corruption and the economy are concerned?
Well, I think that Spanish people has been waiting 300 days without a government. So I think that Spanish people, they believe that they have been waiting too much. So I think that they really want to see changes. They really want to see that the government is doing something in corruption, for example. They really want to know, they want to see that they are not just empty promises, and the government of Mariano Rajoy is actually doing something to tackle corruption, for example, within his party. And in the economic wise, of course, they really want to see that we are continuing with that recovery, and especially that everybody is sharing the wealth and the good behavior of the economy. That is very important with 18% of unemployment rate right now.
All right, Jaime, we'll leave it there. Jaime Velázquez for us in Madrid.